Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today I'm going to be actually making an interesting video where I'm going to be giving you guys my top 3 undervalued Pokemon items, whether it be graded cards, sealed product, and all things alike, and what I think can be a great investment opportunity. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the main center, like I said, around this video, I'm going to once again try and continue to keep these videos on the shorter end, is going to be what I think is a really good investment as to why. So the big two that I'm going to be showing you, and there's one other one that I thought was kind of interesting, is we have started to see a large retrace in a lot of the PSA graded cards, specifically in the WotC era, and then of course in a lot of the moderns. Now the main difference obviously is you're seeing a lot lower population reports, and obviously because WotC is a lot, older of an era, print runs are a lot smaller, etc., etc. The factors go on. And one of the things that I've seen a very common pattern and trend in is you have seen opportunities where a lot of these cards that kind of went super high had really high retraces. And so a couple of the ones that I kind of took a look at, and I was like, wow, these cards are actually ridiculously cheap. And I think that they could be a huge opportunity. So let's take a look at them. If you can't see it, then I'll try and, you should be able to, but first one is Charizard holographic from base set unlimited in a PSA 9. So for those people, as crazy as this sounds, at its all-time high, it did sell for around $13,000. Now, whether you want to say it was a spoof sale or not, because obviously, it was a one-time thing. You had another sale for $10,000, another sale for $7,000. And if you want to look at this information, you can actually go onto the PSA website, and they will show you these sales. That's where I got all my information from. It is a card that is definitely, seeing a very high spike. And so for me, the lowest, listed that I saw was and this is on eBay, of course, for that, which is available, was $1,350. It last sold for $1,600. So the price itself is still going down. It's not one of these cards that, all of a sudden just, decided to skyrocket for no reason. It's a Charizard holo. Now, why has it started to decline is a good question. I think there's multiple factors. I think one, the PSA population, as you can see, is at 5,075 for a 9. That's an insane population report. Not to mention the fact of the matter is, when it came to the overall population for this Charizard holo specifically, it had seen an increase over time. And if we wanted to, we can go to PSA and we can take a look and see what some of the, here, I'm going to pull this off to the side for a second. Oopsie. Off to the side so I can log in, not have everyone see my information. All right, of course it failed. Oh, I'm an idiot. Wrong email. After a long-awaited, I am so sorry about that, guys. I don't know why that took so long. But okay, let's take a look. So if we go over and take a look at the pop report for a Charizard holo, just so you guys can take a look, just in case you didn't believe me, which I don't see why you wouldn't, but just so that we're gonna take a look at the Charizard holo. So we take a look and we see, okay, just regular Charizard holo. You've got the first edition, you got the base set, and then you got the regular Charizard holo. That is absolutely insane that there is that amount just purely for 9s. So that's the question you got to ask yourself. And this is just my personal opinion, obviously. Is the reason this card is so undervalued right now, in my personal opinion, or if it's, you think it's, a brick, instead of saying undervalued, so much cheaper, because the population report took a huge hit. I do think that plays a huge factor, of course, because the fact of the matter that this is so high up place, you know. I mean, you take a look at some of these, you know, modern cards, and they have several $1,000 or several thousand population reports. So as far as it goes, of course, that's going to play a factor. However, the big thing is for me on why I think that's not going to play as huge of a role is because as we start expanding more and more into modern, we're not going to see 5,000. We're going to see 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 because a lot of these cards in and of themselves are getting printed to death. People are able to obviously grade things a lot better nowadays. When it comes to the way in which they keep things protected, people are more aware. You've got the internet. So like there's a lot more factors. And the reason obviously why these were so highly graded is because it was during the unlimited era. It had a high population report in the grand scheme of things to begin with. And then second off, people of course started dusting off their old binders with a lot of influence going on, especially with like the Logan Paul stuff. So you got to take that into consideration. And as far as it goes, we can take a look at another Charizard that could possibly play effect into whether or not this statement could be true. So let's take a look at the shiny Charizard VMAX. Okay. So we say to ourselves, shiny Charizard VMAX. And we can do, here we go. Sword and Shield Shining Fates Charizard. Let's take a look. So this one's probably near the bottom somewhere. So, boo boo boo. Did I pass it already? Oh, there it is. What? What just happened? All right, there it is. So the Charizard itself, and this is obviously for 10s. Man, look at the 10 to 9 ratio. Look how hard it is to get a 9 compared to a 10. That's insane. So if you're saying to yourself, this set's been out since March, and we're looking at 10s, obviously, not even 9s. This is we're looking at 9s compared to 10s. We're saying to ourselves, we're about half that population right now. I mean, this is going to do nothing but grow, guys. And this is during the time of when PSA was closed down. I mean, you want to take a look at a different set, and you can say probably like, I don't know, like Champion's Path. Like you can take a look at Champion's Path and say to yourself, okay, let's take a look at some of the cards in Champion's Path set. I don't know why this didn't pop up. Champion's Path Pokemon. And you can say like, okay, what about that shiny Charizard? And I mean, even then that was still in a era where the cards themselves were not as heavily graded. But look at this. Oh my gosh, because of PSA being closed down. Look at this, guys. 6,904. I mean, this is way more. Oh, you can't see it because my face is covering it. I even moved my face so you guys could see. Like, this is insane, guys, the population report on this. So as far as it goes, you know, the point once again of me showing you guys all this mainly just comes down to fact of the matter that, you know, for a card this old, in it hitting 5,000, I think we've seen a real like peak when it comes to the amount being graded in high population versus a lot of these cards, the full art Charizards. I think that they're just going to keep going up higher and higher. So the population report for the Charizard, you know, I think it has that opportunity to, you know, at least hit, you know, triple X its value. And considering you can buy it at $13.50 right now, that was last shown on eBay, and we can even take a look too and say to ourselves, okay, $13.50, right? If we just say it hits $6,000, I mean, guys, you want to 4X your money? That's a little bit under that. I think it could easily go back up to 6,000. Obviously, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That's just my personal opinion. But I would say of the 3 that I'm going to be naming for you guys in Pokemon, I actually have a special kind of undervalued item that I want to talk about after. That's not Pokemon. That's kind of interesting. But that one is probably the bottom of the list. More speculative because the PSA population report, but I do think from its all-time high to its current low, it did retrace a little too heavy because it is a Charizard and it's from that unlimited era. Now, the next being Leukia Genesis, and now taking a look at this has a population report of 341, which is absolutely insane as well. Once again, looking at it, you say to yourself, okay, all-time high is 15,000. Last sold is, you know, 2,925, and then that's the lowest listed. I think that we could see a retrace of this potentially go down all the way as low as 2,500. Who knows, maybe even 2,000. Don't think it'll push 2,000. I think that's a little too low and undervalued. But this, of course, whether you want to make the argument again or not, if this was kind of blown out of proportion, because you did see this be a one-time sale, there were multiple sales at $10,000. Once again, don't believe me, check PSA's website. So as far as it goes, you say to yourself, okay, $10,000. Okay, we'll say, you know, it hits that price. We'll say that the overall low is 2,500. I don't have to do the math. That's 4x again, guys. I mean, if you're going to say to yourself that you're going to get that low of 4x, and that's obviously with this being the current price. Now, of course, that's if you're going to get at that current price right now, you know, you're going to still at least 2x if it does hit 10K. Not saying it's going to, once again, not a financial advisor, but I'm just saying if we're playing the game of, you know, what is undervalued compared to its all-time high, and one of the most iconic cards, the Neo Genesis First Edition Leukia, with this low of a population report, I think this is a card that is drastically undervalued, you know, and I think and when I say undervalued, I don't mean undervalued this price, I mean undervalued at this price. And I think if it does continue lower, it's just more of a buying opportunity, because I mean, these are iconic cards, guys. This is Wizard of the Coast era cards, and this is part of the Neo era. And obviously it's not part of the Neo era set that did start with the Shinings, but it's the most sought after. It's, I mean, literally the 10 is the second most expensive card, if we're talking purely like, you know, Pokemon sets. Obviously there's trophy cards and other discussions of that, but I'm talking like we got the first edition Shyless Charizard, and then we got Neo Genesis first edition Leukia, which sold for like 130, 150 and a 10. So having that 9, and that's one of the things I think there's a lot of, and I'm only giving you guys a couple because I keep going, because I've been doing a lot of heavy research, and I want to kind of give you just my premium ones that I think are undervalued right now. And that's just my personal opinion, because I want to make sure that, you know, like I said, I've been doing this research, and I just want to make sure that you guys are getting to see some of the just numbers as to where these cards have retraced. One thing that I will say that is going to be interesting, and I feel like a lot of people are going to kind of get thrown off on this one, but there is a item that a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for saying it is currently undervalued, and I'm about to throw it up on the screen right now. So the item itself is the Pokemon Trainer Toolkit, and the reason why I think it's undervalued, and this is obviously, you know, I think it's a short-term return, and the reason why I say short-term is the other two long-term investments. This one, I'm not saying it's free money, but guys, I don't understand why people aren't buying this up for $22. It is ridiculously insane how cheap this set is. Not to mention it came out at $25. You can probably find it for as low as $20. But the fact of the matter is that this is selling for $22 is insane to me nonetheless. And you might be saying to yourself, Eli, it's a freaking trainer toolkit. Who cares? Like, okay, but let's take a look and see what is in this thing, right? You have, and this is the important stuff that I want you guys to take a look at. More than 50 useful cards to power up your deck, including dozens of trainer cards. And this is what I want you guys to understand. Dozens of trainer cards and 2 copies of Crobat, 4 Pokemon TCG booster packs. Those are the 2 main things I want you guys to take a look at. You can say, okay, we've got all this other garbage. You could probably sell all that stuff for a couple bucks here and there. But the reason why I say, guys, this is insane is because the fact of the matter is you get 4 packs, right? If we're going to resell this, because obviously we got to take everything into account when it comes to being a reseller. Right now, if you want to resell the item, the packs themselves, you can resell, and we got to obviously take a look at it this way. For the low, if you want to really compete, $375 plus the free shipping if they do hit that mark. So if they were to buy all 4 of your packs at $375, right? It's 3.75 times 4. Okay, that's $15. You say you ship, you know, you spend $3 right there for shipping, $12, add all the fees, it's going to come out roughly to around $11, right? So you're saying to yourself, okay, well, that doesn't seem like a good deal. Like, I don't understand, Eli. Well, here's the deal, guys. When you're talking about the fact of the matter that you're getting a absolute boatload of these trainers that are worth so much money, it is insane. Like, I didn't realize how much money a lot of these trainers are worth. I mean, okay, so let's take a look at this, guys. Quick ball. Right? You've got a quick ball. Just a straight. Why is it not popping up? That is. Oh, it's not one word. Sorry. Okay, let's take a look. Quick ball from the Sword and Shield set. It is currently going for, obviously, I go off of my TCG player account, a low of 73 cents. You get 3 of those. That's an extra $2. Then you also get Boss's Orders. Now, obviously, which one are we talking about? This one. Boss's Orders. Low of 45 cents, you get 3 of those. Just another $1.20. You also get Marnie. How low is Marnie in the deck exclusive? You get her at 43 cents. You also get a Rose card, which is a deck exclusive as well. Where is it? Where is that Rose card? I can't find it right now. But anyway, you get a Rose card if I'm correct. Maybe it's not a Rose. Maybe it's a different one. Hold on one second. Oh, nope, I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. It's a Leon. Leon. You get a deck exclusive Leon. Nope, this is the... Here's the deck exclusive. This card is going for as low as 25 cents. So not as high as the other ones. But there are escape ropes. You got the quick ball. You have a ton of other... you've got air balloons. You've got metal saucers. I mean, guys, it's insane to me. Metal saucers, right? So you go metal saucer Pokemon. You know, you can sell this for 15 cents. You get 3 of these. You've got air balloon. This one I don't think you can sell for as much. Also, balloon is spelled with 2 L's. I'm dumb. You can sell this air balloon as well for 35 cents and you get 3 of these. I mean, so here's the deal. I went through all 50 of the cards, and not to mention, guys, I mean, here's this as well. Crobat V. You got the promos. They're currently each selling for as low as $1.74, but let's take a look and see. Yep, $1.74. So if you just say to yourself, guys, and this is why I think it's undervalued. Obviously, you got to take fees into factoring everything. But if you're saying to yourself, they don't hit that $5 shipping mark, they're going to pay that 78 cents, which is going to realistically cover the cost of all your transaction fees. And if you do get your shipping out product at fair price, under market price, which is what I do, then it's going to be able to cover. Now, obviously, if you go out and go buy a freaking postage stamp for 55 cents from the post office, obviously you're going to be getting it for a lot more money. But if you want to go buy bulk, you can buy on eBay for 36 cents, which is a freaking deal. And it comes with the envelopes too. So it's like, guys, you can go sell a lot of this stuff for insanely good amount of money. Like I think I calculated it, and the overall actual value, and now this is obviously after fees and everything calculated into it, but the overall actual value itself, and you might say to yourself, this is not a ton of money, but for me, $30 once you break it all down and resell all the cards. Now you can say, Eli, it's not worth the time. It's only $8. That's insane. Like, why would it be worth it for me to relist a bunch of cards? But if you really think about it, guys, if you sit down and let's say you buy, and this is obviously not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you went and said to yourself, okay, so these are each selling for around $22, right? And I'm going to spend I'm going to buy, how many of these do I want to buy? I'm going to buy 15 of these, not 105. That's insane. I'm going to buy 15 of these, right? So that's, going to cost me $330. Take that number, and then you say to yourself, okay, I'm averaging value about 30, and I have 15 of these. Guys, I mean, that's $120 that you're going to be getting, which, I mean, you want to take that percentage into account, 330 divided by 450. I mean, that's about a 27% value. That's not something that should be taken lightly when it comes to overall profit margins, especially coming from someone who, I mean, before everything was kind of good with Pokemon, the profit margins were 10%. If they were over 15, you were lucky. So getting something at that 27% profit margin, and this is a resale item, it's insane how much value you can get purely based off the fact that you can get all these. I mean, and here's another one. Here's an Evolutions Instant as well that you can get. I mean, they've got the level ball. Oh, guys, don't even get me started about the price of the level balls. Look at these. Okay, so and here's something that's a little trick I'm going to show you guys. So you can see that these are all for 75 cents. And here's what I want you guys to take a look at. And this is what I think is very important. So you obviously see that you have that 35 cents sitting there. And this is why I think buy walls are important for people to understand. But this is one of two. I mean, you're still going to see sales going for around 75 cents. And these are all sold within the day. So don't be afraid of the fact of the matter that these are selling for 75 cents. Or you see that 35-cent mark. You don't have to go lowest price listed. You just have to compete with the other bigger guys. So for me, how I would do it is I would go 74 or 73 cents, especially if you have multiple of these. But I mean, guys, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, this is insane that you're getting this much value. And honestly, the price of these have actually gone down. And I still think they're valuable because I was selling level balls literally less than a week ago for 95 cents and they were selling like that. I posted 60 of them and they sold within 3 days. Like, it is insane the amount of value you can get off of a lot of these cards. I mean, you got the escape rope, you got the switches. They're obviously not going to be selling for as much. But as far as it goes, I mean, overall, once you, like I said, add everything all together, you add the packs, and then mainly the trainers. Like, you can take a look and say, okay, I'm going to sell all this other crap, and that stuff's going to be harder to sell. But the main thing I'm talking about is the promo cards, the promo trainers, and then the packs. I mean, you're at least getting your value's worth off the packs when it comes to, you know, if you're saying to yourself, and when I say value's worth, I don't mean literally it's going to pay for the box itself. But I'm saying you're going to be getting your value's worth when it comes to just buying the set itself if you want to collect it. Because think about it, guys. If you're going to open a tin, it comes with 4 packs and a promo. And so a lot of these tins, like, I mean, especially the battle style tins, were just absolute crap. The Evolutions tin's cool. It has an Evolution promo. But the packs in there are, they're 2 Evolving Skies ones. And so with this one, you actually get those guaranteed 4 packs, and they're a good, decent, they're good packs. So as far as it goes, you get that guarantee. So when it comes to walking with value, then adding these extra cards that are worth amazing money, like, it is 100%, in my opinion, an item that is drastically undervalued. But that's just my personal opinion. Take everything I say, obviously, with a grain of salt. Not a financial advisor. Do your own research, all that kind of fun stuff. But just something that I thought was interesting for a lot of people to look into. I kind of stumbled across this as I was doing bulk sorting this past weekend, and I was like, wait, why do I have... Oh my god, these cards are so expensive. I got all these cards from the Trainer Toolkit? Hold on, let me look this up. Oh my god. And that's when it kind of hit with me. Now this last card, and I'm going to keep this one short, or not card, but actually item. I'm going to keep this one short. And this is something that I've been kind of looking into. And obviously, you know, this is market talk specifically for Pokemon. So I don't want to go too off tangent with this one. I'm going to be very short with it. But one of the things I've kind of looked into as well is this Flesh and Blood. So for those people who don't know what Flesh and Blood is a new card game that came out last year. And when it comes to looking at everything from an investment perspective, I've mainly looked towards Pokemon because I like to collect Pokemon. I have a lot of expensive Pokemon cards that I like, and I don't just own them because they're expensive and I think they're good investments. I also like to collect them. So one of the things I thought was kind of interesting is, you know, I am a big fan of Rudy. For those people that don't know who Rudy is, he runs a channel at Rudy Investments. I forgot what the name of the actual channel is. I can't believe I forgot what it was called. But anyway, it'll come to me later. But basically, he kept talking about, you know, Flesh and Blood, and he's basically a shill at this point for Flesh and Blood. And one of the sets he was talking about was Monarch, and I was like, okay, Monarch seems like a cool set. But I was like, what about this Tales of Aria set? This is a new set. It looks cool. I want to see if this is worth something. Well, I bought a couple of Tales of Aria boxes, and I was opening, the packs, and I was like, wow, I love the artwork on these cards. I think they're really cool. One of the things I thought was kind of interesting about the Tales of Aria that I thought was absolutely ridiculous was I said to myself, okay, so what are the pull rates on a lot of these things? So the most expensive card you can get is, there's only one of them. It's called a Fabled. It's about $550. There's about one in 960 chance you're going to pull it. Not going to happen. That's basically 10 cases. Got a legendary. These legendaries can go for at least 100 and, 170 being the low to as high as almost, $300. And so you're like, okay, that's what's the odds? 1 in 92. Okay, that's not terrible. That's 1 in every 4 boxes, but understandable. Then there's something that kind of hit me and I thought was very interesting. They have these other ones called Majestics. And now I want to come out and say this, in advance. I don't know if all of this is just skewed because the set just came out. And so a lot of this stuff is overvalued, undervalued. But the overall price ratio of the cards compared to the booster box is disgustingly low. So we go just specifically Tales of Aria. And let's just take out Majestic and just look at the box. You get the box for basically $119, right? So for those that don't know, statistically, I opened 3 cases of Tales of Aria, and on average, I pulled, of the non-hollow variety, because they have hollows and non-hollows, I pulled 6 of these. So the average price, obviously, it can range to as low as $2 and as high as $175. This one's hard to pull though. I would say on average, you're getting around $10 worth of value when it comes to these cards. You say that to yourself, okay, that's $60. That's purely based off of the non-hollows. I pulled multiple hollows, and there's this thing called a cold foil. So for those who don't know what a cold foil is, basically what a cold foil is, this is one that isn't a cold foil. So what a cold foil is, it's this cool art, it's a cool design where basically the card itself, I can't show you, I can't actually show you on screen, but the design itself, it's basically like a reverse hollow, but cooler. It makes borders on the outside, look really cool. And you look at this card, okay, it's like $10, right? Well, let's look at the cold foil price. Almost $100. Holy crap, that's quite a bit of money. You, statistically speaking, I'm not saying it's guaranteed you get a cold foil, but of the 3 cases I opened, which is 12 boxes, 24 packs, I did not walk away in one that didn't have a card that was at least a cold foil or better. And when I say better, is the first box I opened didn't have a cold foil, but it had an alternate art, which was worth $175. The cold foil prices, range from $15 to as high as several $100s. And that's something that is, I looked up the odds. I did the odds myself. You're guaranteed at least one of those, right? Almost guaranteed. Obviously, nothing's 100%. And there's a chance of pulling 2. I did happen to pull 2 a couple of times. It's not a high probability, but it's a probability. And the 3, you got to have God luck. I didn't do that. But the point of me talking about this, and I'm pushing half an hour, so sorry for rambling. But the point is, I broke down and did the math. And so I bought these at $150. I bought them at pre-release prices, overpaid for them. They're now $118. After everything's been listed, the common, the legendaries, the epics, or not the epics, sorry, the Majestics, the hollows, or the rainbow foils is what they call them, the cool foils. After everything's been listed, right? Bought them for $150, 3 of them, that's $1,800, right? Off of purely just the legendaries, the Majestics, and the Majestic hollows and cold foils. Purely off of those cards alone, $1,900 is what the total came out to be. And now you can say, Eli, you must have gotten insane luck. I did the math. I got exact odds. Exact odds. I pulled 3 legendaries. I opened 3 cases. Obviously, there's a possibility you can get worse luck and you don't pull that. But guys, even if I didn't get one of those and I only got 2, which of course, this is gambling. This is all speculative. Having those minimum cold foils, having those, minimum majestics, and then having a guaranteed hollow card or a rainbow foil, if you want to call it, in every single pack, which can range anywhere between 50 cents to, a couple bucks. And that's only for the commons and rares. I'm not even talking about the majestics, which can range upwards of 20, 30 bucks. You're buying these at 118. You hit your value quick. Like I said before, guys, 1,900. After fees, of course, I'm not going to be making my money's worth, but I'm almost going to be making my money's worth purely off of these cards. Then you add in the rares. Then you add in the other foils. Then you add in the commons. And then you add in these other cards called tokens, which tokens, there's 1 guaranteed in each box. Not each box, each pack. So that's 24 in a box. Once you add all these things, look at the prices of these cards, right? These prices are nice. Now, one thing I will say you have to take into consideration when it comes to tokens, and this is where I think you can kind of go off a little bit with it on, okay, how speculative is this? Is if you look at a lot of the token date prices, this is the only one of the 3 that I just looked at that are 929, 928 when it comes to when they were last sold. So you got to take the tokens with a grain of salt. But from what I have listed so far, you don't even have sales data for this one yet. What I have listed so far, almost every single one of my majestic or better sold within the first day. And I've already sold about $1,400 worth. So I still have about $500 left I need to sell. Going to probably sell that within the next couple of days. And then everything else is basically just profit once I've kind of hit that range of, okay, I've paid off my fees, which is about $200. So, and you might say to yourself, well, how hard is that going to be to hit? The rares on average are about 25 cents is what they're selling for on average. And you get 2 guaranteed a pack. So you say 2 times 0.25. That's 0.5 times 24, because that's how many is in a box, times 4, times 3. You're walking away with, off the rares, about 144, and then you start adding the hollows into that. I can keep going with how much money just racks up. And that was with me spending them at $150. So you best be believing, my personal opinion, I'm buying so many of these at 118. And like I said before, the set just came out. At the end of the day, I'm going to personally collect the cards and I'm going to look into it because I want to know what I'm investing in. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to probably keep a lot of these sealed. That's just how I'm going to do it. And I want to rebuy it at a lower price, and seeing that opening week is typically the best time to open and resell product, that's kind of what I like to do. So for that reason, the reason why I'm talking to you guys about this now is a lot of the prices are still relatively high when it comes to releases. I'm not saying that you should go out and, buy a bunch of these just to open, because, who knows, depending upon if the prices drastically drop in a week. But I am saying is that if the prices do stabilize at the current, markers that they're at right now, I will continue to open them because you are making money off of opening these and selling these. And that's just because of the minimums. The minimums, not if you get lucky and pull more. It's the minimums that are making you money because of how cheap the boxes are, because they crashed so much in prices. They were pre-selling for $350, and now they're all the way down to $118, $119. That is insanely cheap, especially considering how expensive a lot of these cards are. And like I said before, if they do crash, I'm still going to hold because I think Tales of Aria is a really cool set. It's a fun set. It's something I really like, and I really want to start getting into the game because I think it's something that is actually a really cool concept. And when it comes to the next set that comes out, that's going to be a first edition set, I'm going to probably do the same exact thing, and I'm going to open a ton once it drops because honestly, I think that the deal right now for this is insane. The fact of the matter that you're getting such great premium prices on opening release. But as far as it goes, those were the 4 things I kind of had to talk about. 2 of them were kind of those WotC cards. Obviously, the Trainer Toolkit was kind of a curveball, in my personal opinion. And then lastly, you've got the Flesh and Blood set, obviously also out of the woodworks. But I thought it was fun to kind of give a variety. I know a lot of people are pretty basic and they're like, I like this set, I like this set, I like this set. But I wanted to kind of give you a variety and like a diverse look at both what's in the Pokemon card era and then looking outside of that, just because I like looking at opportunities. And this is the last time I'm going to say it. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If you decide to join me, great. But never recommending anyone to do anything with their money. I'm just going to do what I think is a smart decision for myself financially. But that is all I have for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. As always, please make sure to leave a like on the video. Leave a comment down below. It really does help out the algorithms. If you have any questions, disagreements, something you want to talk about, I always love hearing from you guys. Also, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all things Pokemon USA. And lastly, as always, make sure to check us out at PokemonUSA.com for all your Pokemon product that you could need, as well as our social media pages at the top to follow us on everything when we update anything going on in the Pokemon world and anything we added to the site. But as for now, that is all for today's video. Until then, I will see you guys on Friday. Peace.